Hey, what's up? It's your girl Cece, aka ThePrettySnead, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, get comfortable so you can get a taste of me. As you can tell from the title, this is a list of my top 10 favorite places to shop for streetwear, especially as a plus size woman, because let's be honest, it's not that many options out there. We kind of gotta finesse and finagle what we can get our hands on. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So what I've done is kind of group the shops that are similar to each other, and I'm going to mention them at the same time and tell you what I get from those shops specifically, just so you get a clear idea of what I like to do and how I like to shop, but they definitely offer more than what I'm going to mention that I get from there. So the first shops that I'm going to mention is SSENSE and Farfetch. SSENSE and Farfetch are similar to one another because they both offer designer clothing. What I like about the websites is that they have clothes that sometimes typically sell out in store or sell out on mainstream websites like Nordstrom, Saks. And if you can't find it on there, either SSENSE or Farfetch will have it available. What I typically get from SSENSE and Farfetch is handbags. What I like most about them is that they usually have sales and they have no limitations on what brands you can use those coupon codes on, so definitely a plus. So I do recommend that if you are into designer clothing, handbags, or what have you, definitely sign up for their email updates so you can stay in tune of when they're having sales. The next two shops I'm going to mention is RSVP and Notre. They're both based in Chicago, but RSVP does have a location in LA. What I like most about RSVP and Notre is that they do end up having exclusive drops or like really cool their own brand like gear, like merch, which I really enjoy. I typically enter the raffles at RSVP or Notre if there's a shoe that's coming out that I really want to get my hands on and I know sneakers is going to be on one with me. So I typically just take my chances with entering the raffles there. They do offer online raffles as well, so it gives you a chance to get the shoe that you want too. Both shops do carry designer clothing as well, like Have Emped, Off-White, Second Layer, things of that nature. So feel free to browse their website so you can get a feel of what they offer. In my opinion, the brands that they carry are strictly like streetwear. They don't necessarily sell like big fashion houses like Gucci, Balenciaga. It's going to be like for real streetwear brands that you typically wouldn't see in a Nordstrom or a Saks. So definitely check them out and see what brands that you may like. I'll make another video of my favorite streetwear brands if this gets enough likes and if you're interested. Okay, so the next three shops that I'm going to mention are Dollskill, PrettyLittleThing, and ASOS. I love these brands. I get most of my clothing items from these shops, especially when I'm trying to like be a little bit more feminine. I definitely shop PrettyLittleThing and Dollskill for those things. And if I'm looking for more androgynous or masculine pieces that fit a feminine body, I go on ASOS. Some of I have like different brands, not brands, but like, well, yeah, brands. There's certain brands on ASOS that I really enjoy. There's certain brands on Dollskill that I really like, and PrettyLittleThing is just one brand. I usually get like basics from there, or if I'm trying to find something super girly to pair with my sneakers or my hats, you know, it's just, I love those three shops a lot for clothes. I shop a lot at the thrift store too, but if there's something particular that I'm looking for that I can't find at the thrift, I will go to one of these three websites, most likely to find it. Next shop is Urbanoutfitters. I know, how cliche, but they do have really nice streetwear clothes. Their jackets I really like. Their denim jackets, their trucker jackets. They carry Levi, which is the classic. They carry Calvin Klein, which you can see a lot of girls using like the bras and as accents, or even the hats as accents for their outfits. I really do like Urban Outfitters. There is some things that I don't agree with their company, because they seem very controversial, which I don't like.
I said what I said.
But unfortunately, there isn't another store like Urban Outfitters that I can see myself shopping at to provide me with what I'm looking for. What I get from Urban Outfitters a lot though is their like unique jackets or puffer coats, because I mean it's essentially pieces that I wouldn't find anywhere else. They also carry a lot of vintage shirts. I say vintage because they're brand new shirts, but they're ironing on things from the 90s to make it look aesthetically pleasing, and they grunge it up too just to make it look like it's old. So if you are looking for a truly vintage tee but you don't want to spend the money, or you can't find it, Urban Outfitters is a good place to go if you're looking for that graphic tee that you just have to have. The last two shops that I'm going to mention, I love to shop there for vintage things, and one of them does offer the option of buying vintage clothing or past releases of brands online. I, for one though, when I do get vintage things, or I guess repurposed clothing, there we go, I do typically go to like Salvation Army, Unique, Crossroads, Buffalo Exchange. I go to those places first before going to RoundTwo and Boneyard, which are the last two shops that I'm going to mention. RoundTwo also is another shop that sells their own merch, and so does Boneyard. I really do love the aesthetic of both shops. RoundTwo is a fast growing company. They sell vintage apparel. They have their own show on YouTube. They buy and trade clothes. So if you have like sneakers that you haven't worn in a while, even if they're used, or well, gently used, if they'll buy them from you, or you could trade it in for something else. I do like that they have like old releases of like Supreme and vintage tees from like the 70s, 80s, 90s. They carry starter jackets. If you didn't luck out on any of the retailers, then you can try Boneyard or RoundTwo. Boneyard I really enjoy because it's smaller, it's much more intimate. I feel like I can build a connection with the owners and the employees a lot more there. They have a raffle machine where you could pay, you could take a chance in winning a pair of shoes. They always post who wins, which I think is really nice. It's like customer appreciation, which is great. And it shows that people really do win from the machine. Yeah, that completes my list. Those are my 10 favorite shops to shop at online, but also in store. I wanted to give you guys the options that are available online, only because if you don't live in Chicago, it's kind of like, well, what can you do? But if you are interested in knowing what shops I like to go to in Chicago that aren't available online, check the description box down below. If you are interested in knowing my favorite streetwear brands, make sure you leave a comment. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Take 59. Yeah, you do. It's 4 a.m. You got insomnia.